Again, this is the Hailerz Residency. It's a free workshop that we deliver every week on different topics that may be of interest to our community, which is Hailerz Global Talent. Uh, this is, like I said, this is a free workshop, and we do bring in different speakers with various backgrounds who, come on to share their experiences. Today we do have a speaker with us who will be presenting on Excel. It's the fourth part of the series. You can go back and rewatch the other parts, or also continue from here because we have two other sessions coming up. Jules, if you're with us, please take the floor and lead us into the session, and I can circle back at the end and talk about the session once more. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. It's nice seeing you all again. So, welcome to today's class, and hope you all are good. So, we're going to be starting with. Okay, so for the first thing, by the end of this first section of the class, I want you to be able. Okay, let me close the camera so that you focus more on the screen. Okay, so for the first part of this class, I want you to be able to identify data set structure, you understand columns and data types, you know how to calculate the total rows and columns, you know how to sort data correctly, how to filter data for quick insights, and combine filters for data analysis, for deeper data analysis. So yes, this is the data set we'll be using for today. And before we start, we have to understand the structure of data set, the column, the heading, the data types, and the row count. So for every analysis we do, before you start any analysis, if maybe you have a job, a client sent you a data set to work on, do not ever work on that data set he or she sends to you. Create a different data set and work with that. That is our first rule. Do not ever work on the main data set that your client or your boss gives you to work on. Create a separate one and work on it. So I already created a separate one. This is what we'll be using. So now we have to understand the different data types in Excel. And we have, this is the name section. This is text. Text is mostly A, B, C, D with sometimes mixtures of 1 and 2. So far there's an A or B in it. It's called the text. Now we have the numbers, which is mostly 1 to 3. Then we have the unique IDs, which is different. So now while we're identifying this data type, because for Excel formulas to work, for filtering and sorting to work, it depends on the data types. Now, the next thing to do is we have to count. The next step to take is you have to count the rows and columns before doing any data cleaning. Of course, yes, this is already a clean data set, but the normal steps to take for data analysis or working on your data set is have a duplicate and then count your columns and your rows. So how do we count that? So you come to this place, you press Control Shift the side arrow and take it down. It takes you to the last row. So here the last row is saying it's 55. You write it down somewhere. This is what we call EDA, exploratory data analysis. Then you count how many columns you have before you start doing your data cleaning. Here the columns we have is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 columns. Now with that being done, so the next thing we are going to be doing is we want to filter our data set. So we want to filter it to have the highest, we want to know the highest Q4. Sorry, let me go back up. Want to know the highest Q4 agent that sold, like the highest price. This is, I just used employee 1, employee 2. This should have been names. But because I have 50 employees, getting 50 names now was out of it. So I just used employee 1, employee 2. So now we want to know the employee that made the highest sale in Q4. How do we do that? We go to data. Yeah. Then we go to sort and we click. This can be applied on the table. Oh, okay. First of all, we click on Control A. We highlight everything and Control A. Then we go to sort. Can you guys see the drop down? Hi, I'm Makachime and Princess. Can you see the drop down here? Okay. So now there's actually a drop down here. I'm not sure you guys can see it, but there's a drop down here. So in this drop down, this is where you can sort your data type, your data. So what are we sorting by? You're sorting by the column sales Q4. The sort by section is Q4. Now we are sorting from largest to smallest, which is the order, and we click on OK. And you can see this wasn't how it, I think we should have noted what was here before we sorted. Let's Control Z it. Now, what was here before we sorted? We want to sort the highest person that sold for Q4. Before we sorted, we have 2,094. Now, let's sort this. Control A. You go to data. You go to sort. Then there's a button that comes out. You click on sort by. You choose the column name, which is sales Q4. And then we are sorting the order from largest to smallest. And then we OK it. And now you see it just automatically sorted all of these tables from the largest Q4 sales to the smallest. So the person that sold more in Q4 is employee 17. That is how you sort. Now for filtering is like you're trying to hide things that you do not need. You just want to see the things you need. You're not deleting them per se. You just want to see the things that you need from your data sets. So now let's assume you want to get just sales agents who are in marketing and have sold almost above, in Q1, they sold above 6,000. How do we do that? We do that by filtering. And this is what we do. Control A. You go to data and then you go to filter. Now you see there's a drop down in this place. When we clicked on filter, there are drop downs here. So now what was the question that was asked? They said we should look for the employees in the department called marketing, and for those who made sales above 6,000 or equal to 6,000. How do we do that? Now we go to the department section. We go to the department section. We click here. Can you guys see the drop down? Okay.
I can't see the drop down.
Okay, let me try sharing my screen. I was really hoping this would have been so. Sorry, just hold on. Let me try sorting this out and see. Let me stop sharing and share another one. And I'm hoping this time around it shows the entire screen.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't able to figure that issue you were having out.
No problem. Let me see if there's something else I can do, so people actually see what I'm doing. Okay, let me see. Can you see the drop down now?
Yes, I can.
Oh, finally. Okay, now let's get back to work. Okay. So now the question was, could we find someone? Okay, our boss asked us, we are the one managing these data sets. So our boss asked us, okay, I want to see the people in the marketing department, and I want to know the people that made sales above 6,000 or equal to 6,000. Now, when we've applied the filter, this drop down show this small drop downs here, they show. So you click on the department, because remember our boss said we are looking for people under the marketing department. We click here. Now we click on select all and just choose the marketing department. And we okay it. You see that now the numbers have reduced. Now this doesn't mean that this doesn't mean that we've deleted other data sets. No, we didn't. It's still hidden. But because we are just looking for searches for just people under the marketing department, so we used filter. I remember the task was not just for people under the marketing department. It's still for people that made sales of $6,000 or above $6,000 in Q1. Let me expand this so that we can see it more. So now we come to Q1. We come to number filters. Then we go to greater than. So what did they say we should look for? We are looking for the marketing people who sold almost 6,000, who sold 6,000 to above in their Q1. So it's greater than, we write 6,000 here. Now we have and or. We choose or, like is greater than or equal to. We use or, we come down here, said equal or equal to 6,000. That was the task that was given to us. So now we okay it. Have you seen that this thing reduced more? So now instead of you going to go and be looking for, let's assume this filters was not here, or the filters we just did now was not here, and you're working with almost 10,000 data sets. Imagine you now going to look for all of the marketing departments and then going to sales Q1 column, sales Q1, to look for the people in marketing departments who sold up to 6,000 or more than 6,000 sales for Q1. How would you do that manually? That's going to take almost forever. So that is what our filters is doing. The filters helps us. This is not, our data set is still complete. We didn't delete anything here. And if you want to take this back, all you have to do is come back to that column you worked on and click on clear filters from sales Q1. You see the previous thing came back. Now we also remember we put filters also in department. So we'll come here. Sorry. And then we'll clear filters from department. And all of our data sets is back. So the filters helps us to answer question of like specific questions. Why sort? This one, sort helps us to answer which is higher, which is lower, above and below. So with that being said, let's move to the next section. Hope you guys are catching me up. So remember in the last class, I taught us how to convert table. Make this, I convert it, sorry. Convert our data set to a table. I'm trying to go back. So there are two ways to do it. You click on any of the space and then press Ctrl A and Ctrl T. Ctrl T is to make it table and then OK. If you don't want to do it like this, sorry, you click on home. Right, remember we already highlighted all of the cells where our data set is. Then you go to format as table and you click, and then you choose the formatting style you want, the design you want. You want to be green, blue, or any of them. So let's just choose this one. And then we OK it. Still now the color is different. Oh, I don't like this color. You can actually change it, but let's just work with this. Okay. So now, I told us before that Excel tables are smarter than the normal table. The normal table was the first one we had. This is now Excel table. Someone wants to join the call. Please, can somebody help me admit? Okay, so in the last, for the conversion of table, what would convert to tables is this. They auto expand. They clean your formulas, they keep your formatting consistent, and they make your large data sets easier to manage. Now, first of all, what we are going to do is let's rename all of this table to employee. You come to this place, I'm renaming this to employee data. Let's call it employee data. Yes, that works. Then we'll click on enter. We've given this whole table here, this whole data set here, a name. Now I want us to create a column called first half. Let's calculate the first half. We come here, let's type first half. Enter. Did this what happen? It just automatically expanded. If it was that first one, it wouldn't have done that. So now I want to calculate our first half sales. Remember, I told us whenever I want to do calculations, the first thing is equal to first half sales. Let's say is Q1 and Q2, our first half sales. So we'll do this, we'll do plus. I click D2 plus. We are clicking this and you enter. It automatically just calculates everything for you. That's the beautiful thing about making your data set a table. If you don't make it a table, you will keep dragging. Imagine if this was almost 20,000 data sets and you're trying to, after calculating one, you now have to start doing autofill. I thought of how to do that. You now have to do autofill for all of them, keep dragging, and it's going to take forever. That is why I always say, turn your data set into a table. It just automatically does the sweet calculations for you. Now, with that being taught, now I want us to calculate the total sales for Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So let's call this total, let's call this column total sales. Okay. Then equal to, I'm clicking on Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. Oh my, hold on. Okay, Q3 plus Q4 and press on enter. And it has done the calculations for us. You can as well just take your phone and do the calculations manually. You'll see that we're actually at sorry, you could see that we are actually at the right place. Now imagine if you had to do this calculation like this. Because you write the first one is D2. So you're clicking on, you're writing D2, and then you do another plus. You come again, you're looking for the next one, E2. That's going to, you might even make mistake and type E3. So, but with tables, everything automatically calculates itself for you. So I would always tell you, I know some people like working hard. There's no need of working so hard. Work smart. It's tables, everything is done for you automatically. Now, with that being said, I hope this part is well understood. We'll be moving to, hope you guys understood this part.
Very well.
All right, thank you, Princess. Okay, so now we'll be going to cell references. So now cell references are instructions Excel uses to locate data. Now, when you copy a formula, Excel moves the references unless you log them. Now, there are three types of cell references, which is one, we have relative, two, we have absolute, and three, we have mixed. Now, let's do a calculation. Okay, let me show us what I mean by cell reference. Really, relative cell reference is just saying A1, A1. This is me trying to write this place, A1. Now, when you want to do absolute cell reference, you use the $sign. This is how you do it. You do, let's say we want to write for for D2, you use the $sign. First of all, put your $sign. You type on D, another $sign, and 2. Now, what this $sign does is to lock that number. Well, let's do the practical so that you understand what we are saying. Now, let's say we have, I think I did that here. Okay. Let's say we have 1, 2. Let's come to this place. Let's go to M. We have 2. We have 1. We have 1. We have 2. Okay. So now let's say we want to multiply. We want to multiply our Q1 sales with these numbers here. Now let's use the relative cell reference. What we will do is this, we'll do equal sign. You're clicking on this, we do plus, and then you're clicking on, I think I said Q1, yes, and you enter. Now when you drag this down, it's automatically calculating. Now remember we're working with Q1. We did 4176 plus 2, which gave us 4178. Now, relative just calculates automatically with every other cell that is beneath the first cell. Let me repeat myself. Now, for relative cell referencing, it just automatically calculates whatever is in the next column. Now, see Q2. Sorry, Q1 for cell D3, which is 6735, and we did addition, which is +1 for M3. So 6735 plus 1 automatically gives us 6736. When you check the other calculations, you are seeing it's calculating what is here with what is here. Now let me show you what absolute does. Let's take this out. Take this Okay, let's not take it out. Let's leave it. Let's do another calculation here. Let's do 2, 1. Okay. Okay, so now let's say we want to calculate our total sales by 2. We are doing absolutes now. We are not doing relative. So we do equal to. This is under cell what? This is under cell M8. See, this 2 is under cell M and row 8. So we put our $sign, we put M, we put our $sign again, and we put 2. Okay, no, this is M8 under column M and row 8. So this is 8. See, it's highlighted this already. Now we want to multiply it with the total sales of everything here. So we'll do times this for the first one. And then we enter. It's giving us this calculation. Now, if we drag this down, let me write 2 here. No, let me write 4 here. If we drag this down, it's going to keep calculating 2 times this, 2 times this. Like it's going to, okay, I think with this example, it will be difficult for you guys to understand what I'm saying. Let me do another example so that you will understand me perfectly. Delete. Okay, let's put the information of what we want to calculate here. So do 3, 2, 2. Okay. And this is what we are using to calculate 2 and 4. Okay, now let's do the absolute cell referencing. We do equal to, we're trying to calculate these 2 together. Let's do multiplication this time. So we are working with cell K8. Put the $sign, K, another $sign, and 8. It's highlighted that. I want to multiply it with this. So we'll do times this, and we enter. Now 2 times 3 is normally 6. Now let's drag this down. You know, when we did addition here for this other one, we did 2 plus Q1, and it gave us 2 plus Q1. It gave us 4178, and it automatically just started adding up every other number that was in the next column. That is the relative. Now for absolute, it calculates with just that number that you added that $sign to. This is what I'm saying. We did an absolute of 3 here, which is the absolute of 2, which is K8. And then we now multiplied by the one that is in L. When we did it, we got 2 times 3, we got 6. Now this absolute now start calculating 2 times 2, it will give us 4. 2 times 2 again to give us 4. It's not dragging down with these numbers here. So this absolute is mostly to calculate for commissions, for commission rates, for tax rates. You know those calculations that they will tell you that you have to use one value to calculate for every column. So this absolute helps you do that. Am I clear? Do you guys understand what I just explained? Or should I recap? Hello, am I the only one here? Okay, so I'm going to take that as that you understand what I just said. But if you do not, do let me know. Okay, now we'll be going to what we call if error. We've talked about relative, we talked about absolutes. Now we'll be going for something we'll call if error. Now this if error helps us replace errors with a cleaner message instead of showing errors like NA, div, O, or value. Now there are some errors. Let me show you what I mean. Let's put 0 here and put 0 here. There are some errors you will see in Excel. So let's do this calculation of 0 divided by 2. Put equal sign, take this, divide by this. It's going to give us 0. Okay, let's do 2 divided by this, equal 2. This divide by empty space. This is one of the errors Excel gives when you divide something with empty space. We also have the error of value. We also have errors of NA. So now this if error, it helps your spreadsheet look more professional, clean, and much easier to read. Sometimes you can tell Excel to divide number by 0, or asking it to look up a name that doesn't exist. And then you will see that it would give you a confusing message like something like this, or NA, or the value. So now this if error is acting like a bodyguard for your formula. It stands in front of your calculation and says, try this calculation first if this one does not work. Or if this one fails, throw an error and then hide it. Or you can, it's also telling the spreadsheet, I'm here to support you. Let's remove this error and put empty space. Now let's do a calculation on it so that you guys will understand what I'm saying. We'll do equal to if error, always select what it gives. Now this value is the original formula you are testing. Now that is this one. Then the value if error is what it shows when you're doing your calculations. And remember, we just did 2 divided by 0. So now let's use this if error now to remove. We don't want to see this at all. Okay, let's create a new data set that would work with. Then let's say 3, 0, 2. Then here we put 1, put nothing here. Let's put 4 here. I'll put 2. Okay, so now we want to divide through this, and we do not want to see these errors. We want to see that wherever there's an error, maybe we made a mistake with our calculation, there should be nothing there until we figured out what it is. Now there are different errors in Excel, just like I told us, but not everyone understands this error. Imagine giving your boss a calculation and then he's seeing this kind of error, or NA, or there's another one that's called value. He or she will be asking you questions of what does this mean? So instead of all those plenty questions, what if error is doing is, okay, if this thing brings an error, let's put space in that place. Let's put nothing, or we can also even write calculation not right, or anything you want to write for the person you're submitting your Excel file to, your data set, to understand what actually happened there. So now with that being said, let's do the calculation. So we are doing equal to if error, the value, we are doing 3 divided by this. So we select this, we divide, and we select this. Then we'll put a comma. You see, we are following this. Then I said value if error. What do you want to see if maybe there's an error with your calculation? So let's say we'll write calculation not found. or no, error in calculation. Let's see, error in calculation. Error in calculation. And then we'll close. I will close the brackets and we hit enter. 3 divided by 1 is this, yes. Now let's drag this down. Are you guys seeing what I'm saying? Here there's error in calculation, and here 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now, if we didn't put this if error, let me show us what it would give us. Let's do the main calculation here without the if error. We do equal to this divided by this. Enter. Are you guys seeing div O, div O, div O? It's already showing errors. This error in calculation, please. Are you seeing this? A div O, those are the errors we are trying to remove. So let's Control Z this. We don't need it. Those are the errors we are trying to remove. We don't want to see them, so that whoever we are submitting this data set to understands, okay, there's an error in this part of the calculation. Now let's assume we don't want to have anything in this. We just want a space there instead of having error in calculation. All we just have to do is this. Okay, let's bring down this again. Let's copy this. Control C, Control V, and let's copy down this. Control C, Control V. Okay, so now let's do the calculation. I think this should be on 1. This should be 1. Okay. Now, if you don't want anything to be found, like you don't want the error in calculation, you just want a space in between. All you have to do is you still type your equal to, if error, select the value of what you're calculating, then you put a comma, value if error. You put a semicolon and another semicolon. We did not put anything here this time around. So I'm just saying, leave it blank. We do not want to see anything in that place. We'll cover our bracket and we enter. Now let's drag this down. Now you see there's nothing here. So it now depends on us to explain to whosoever the data set belongs to that the places where there is nothing there means that it's either the calculations are wrong or the numbers imputed are not correct. So that is how if error works. You use this a lot for mostly when you're doing some calculations. I've explained it already. Instead of seeing the annoying if O and the rest, you use if calculations to make your spreadsheets neater and look more professional. So with that being said, I hope you understand how to use if error now. So whenever you're doing any calculation, always put your if errors if you want to make your data sets, your spreadsheets look cleaner. All right, now let's go to data validation. Let's go to data validation. Now this part is actually something most people ignore. So now let's assume you have a boss. Or no, in your office, you guys are planning an end of year party. So your boss told you, Nkechi, please help us prepare a spreadsheet and then add the favorite color for the team. Now this is what we want for the favorite colors. We want blue, green, and red. So we want everybody in the organization to choose from these colors, and we don't want people to put a different color in the spreadsheet so that we can select the best pick and then use it as the theme of the year, the color of the year. So now how do you do that? It's already telling you deprive people from putting the options that they want. That is where data validation comes in. Or now let's assume maybe the party is not just for your colleagues. You can also invite other people, but your name must be in this spreadsheet. And you must be above 18 before you come for this party. So for your name to be in this spreadsheet means you must be above 18. How do you do that? You use data validation for your spreadsheet. Not everybody knows this, but because you're here, of course, now you're having it for free. Okay, so now data validation is a feature in Excel that controls what users can type into an Excel. It's how you make sure that the data entered into your spreadsheet is correct before anyone can mess up your calculations. Now, let's say, let's start with favorite column. Let me give another definition of data validation. Now, for Excel definition, now data validation is a set of rules that you apply to a cell. A cell is this to control what kind of information people enter into a data set. So data validation is like a digital bouncer. You know, when you go to some places, you see some bouncers there. That is what data validation does for spreadsheets. So it can stop error entries like typing Apple where you want numbers to be there, typing a text word where you want numbers to be there. It gives clear information. It shows a message when users check maybe they're trying to put a wrong stuff. It will tell you this is not what should be on the column. It shows errors, and it can also create drop downs with data validation. And three main things you should expect for data validation is one, the rules. The data that is allowed in this column can be whole numbers, it can be the tests. Now, the second thing you should know is the input message. Now, this is really helpful for when like it pops up to let the user know that, okay, this is what should be in this cell. Now we have the error alert. This is like the one that tells the individual, stop, you're inputting something wrong. Or a warning sign that says, stop doing what you're doing. This is not what should be in the column. So first of all, let's work on this favorite column cell. And the colors are that they chose was the favorite colors. Let's say is blue, red, and green. Okay, so now we are going to sorry. So now we are going to put a list here that you can select that only has blue, red, and green. You know, there are some of your colleagues that will still want to put their own favorite color, even if they've already said the only colors we need is blue, red, and green. So this would help you instead of exchanging words with your mates, your colleagues. This just helps solve the issue. So how do we do it? Now we go to data. Go to data. We come to this place. You click. Now you click on data validation. Now, in this place where they said allow, there's a drop down here. You click on it. And now you click on lists. Now, source is, okay, where is the information you want to make a list? These are the information. So we click on this place. Now we drag, highlight these places. And then we open it back. And then we okay. Oh, we made a mistake. Okay, let's do that again. Control Z. Okay, green. So we'll highlight. Then where is data? Click here. Click on lists. Lists. Then the source is Yeah. I think I should have, hold on please. Click here. Data validation. Okay. Then I'll click on list and we'll drag list in the source. We'll drag. You open it up and we'll click on OK. Voila. Okay, now you can see on this favorite color, there's actually a drop down. Now, this was what I was doing wrong before. First of all, you have to click on the cell where you want this information to be in before doing your data validation. Let me redo this again because I didn't carry us along. Great. So I've already clicked here before I went to data. Now I came to data validation. Now what I want to get is list of things. Now source is where is the list of things you want to add. We'll click on this place, then we'll go to this place and drag. We open it up and then we click on OK. And now you're seeing it drop down. Now people can just come, click OK, my favorite color is red. Other person can call my favorite color is green. I think I did something wrong. Josie. It should drag down. It should show everything. List. Source. Okay, first of all, sorry about that. First of all, you highlight where you want your data validation to end. Let's assume the people coming for this party are just 10 people. We've highlighted 10 cells. Now we come to this place, it's still the same step. You choose your list and then we'll click on list. Then we'll come to this place. We'll choose the list, open it up, and we'll click on OK. Now, for the first person that is coming in can choose blue. The second person can choose red. The third person can choose green, depending on what that person wants. What I did was I highlighted all of the cells I wanted my data validation to end, which is the number of people that is coming for the party. Then I went to data validation, then use list and then click on the source and then okayed it. That was just what we did. So now if somebody is going to be trying to be imputing purple, if the person is still strong-headed and wants to impute purple and clicks OK, an error message shows this value doesn't match the data validation restriction defined for this cell. Now the other thing now let's go to age. Let's say once it's still 10 people that is coming, we'll go to data validation. Come here. Now in this place, we would not choose limit this time around, we will choose whole number, which are numbers. We click on it. Sorry. And the minimum age of people that will want to be here is 18. The maximum we want to be in this party is, let's say, 40, age 40. Now, in this first place, we did not do input message. Now we come to this place. Now, input message is saying, okay, what do you want people to see to understand what this cell, what this column is about? So here we'll call it age range. And the input message is saying for impute numbers, okay, impute only numbers. Because now somebody might go and write EIGHTEEN as 18. So we just wanted to impute only numbers. So this is the message you'll be seeing, impute only numbers. And then we come to the error alert, this place. Now this error alert is saying, okay, if the person decides to still do what he or she wants, or maybe the person is not up to 18, what should they see? You could choose stop, warning, or information. Let's put stop. Then title, let's give it title of above 18. Above 18. Error message. Age range between 18 to 40. Okay, let's go back to what we just did. The settings is imputing what that column should have. We have whole number. The minimum is 18, the maximum is 40. The input message is saying, okay, what would they see when they are trying to impute this message? We already did that, age range and impute only numbers. Now for the error alert is saying, when they do something wrong, what should they say? What should Excel pop out? So now let's okay it. Now you can see the message we put, age range, which was the heading. I said only impute only numbers, not with text. So now let me impute 18. Another person comes. Let's say this person impute 16. Enter. You see, it's now brought out that error message you already typed in. It's telling that the age range should be between 18 to 40. Now, this alone helps you make sure that the information you're getting is going to be valid. Imagine you're doing a VIP treat, a VIP party for an occasion, and then you have to do a spreadsheet for each of these people that is coming. This data validation helps you remove all errors. With that being said, now let's go to name. Okay. No, we don't need that. So let's put the right age. Let's say 34. Okay. Now for the name, this is another kind of data validation. We select the cells we want the data validation to be in. We go to data validation, and now we're going back to settings. What are we going to put this time around? It's going to be text. Text is mostly for names. So text length. Now we don't want people to be putting MJ or TJ or JU. We want full name so that we understand. So the minimum words that we want to see is at least, let's just say 6. And then the maximum could be, some people's name could be as long as 20. So we'll put 20. I already taught us what input message is and what error alert is. So with that being said, we don't still need to do this again. I need you guys to go and practice it. So now we'll put okay. Now let's say I want to put TJ here as the name of the person, as my name, TJ, and I move to another place. It's going to give me an error. It's telling you, please, we need your full name. Now remember, we can modify this error the way it taught us. Okay, so now another good thing that we can do is, let's now assume we want this blue colors to be blue when somebody selects it. We want the red color to be red when someone selects red. We want the green color to be green when somebody selects green. How do we do that? Now, we go to home, select that cell to 10. We go to conditional formatting. Now we go to highlight cell rules. So we go to text that contains, first of all, go to home, conditional formatting, highlight cells rule. Then we'll now do text that contains blue. What color do we want it to have? Let's look for color blue. Why can't I see it? Okay, hold on. We'll highlight this to 10, and then highlight rules, and then text that contains blue. We want the color to be custom formats. We'll go to fill, blue. I think we should choose this blue. And then we okay. No, that's not what I wanted to do. That's a mistake. Let's do it again. Conditional formatting. Does that contains blue? Custom formats. And we choose this color. Okay. Okay, that is blue. Okay. Okay, so now let's come here and choose blue. It's not highlighting. I think there's something wrong. Okay, but mostly when you do conditional formatting, format cell that contains blue, it's custom color, which is blue. I'll choose okay. So, okay. So we'll come here, let's see, choose blue. Yes, it's working now. I was asking why. Okay. So this was what I did. I think the mistake I've made here is not highlighting the cells I'm working with first before putting the rows. Now, whenever you want to put any rows or any calculation, you first of all highlight the cells you're working with. Why it wasn't working out before is this. I didn't highlight all of the cells before I did my conditional formatting. Now let's say I want to do conditional formatting for red. How do I do that? I highlight everything here, and then I go to conditional formatting. I highlight cells rules, go to text that contains. I'm going for red this time around. Red. And then I click on custom colors, and then let's choose this color. I will click on OK and OK. Now you see red is already highlighted. Now let's come down here and choose red, another color red. You see, it automatically just highlights it for you. Now this is easier than just writing red, blue, red, blue. So whenever you are choosing green or blue, it would give you a blue color. Whenever you are choosing red, it would give you a red color with the right up. So you can easily see all of your formatting easily without just trying to get the numbers, the alphabet out. Do we understand the conditional formatting? Before I move on. Okay, so it's 1 hour. Mr. Should I go on? Okay, so now let's move to VLOOKUP and page lookup, which is one of the main things you really have to understand in this class. Now, what is VLOOKUP? Let me explain it in a simple way for you. VLOOKUP is like scrolling through a Facebook feed vertically. You know, when you're scrolling through your Facebook feed, like checking out people's messages and all of that, you're scrolling vertically. That's how VLOOKUP works. It searches down to the first column of a table for a piece of information, then moves it right back to another place. Now, for this VLOOKUP, let's go back to the data sets we are going to use. We will use this. Let's delete all of this. Delete. Okay. Now, for the limitation of VLOOKUP, this is the limitation, is that it must search in the first column. It only brings up information from the first column, then matches it with other columns. Now let's do the calculation so that you understand what I'm saying, so it doesn't look like I'm speaking plenty English. Let's do the calculations together. Delete. Okay, now, so let's say we want to look for what question should you look for now? Okay, now imagine your manager calls you and says, okay, please tell me the total sales for employee 103, employee ID that has 103. Now, instead of scrolling all through this data sets, imagine you have millions of data sets and you want to go and be looking for where employee 103 is. It's going to take you forever. Now, instead of doing that, you can use VLOOKUP and find your information. Now, our employer is saying, find the total sales for employee 103. So what do we do? Now, for VLOOKUP, just like I said, the first column matters. The first column is where you would get your employee ID of 103. And now the other column that you should be looking for answer from is total sales. And total sales is in column what? Is in column 9. In column 9, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the information you really need now from this data set is the column 1 and the column 9 instead of scrolling through. So now we'll come here, we'll do equal to, which information did our boss say we should look for? For some, for the employee ID that has employee ID 103. So we'll do 1003. I will enter it. Now, we now have to start looking for the information. So we'll do equal to VLOOKUP. Always choose the one that is being showed. We click. Okay. So remember I told us VLOOKUPs only works with the first column and any other column that are looking for the information. If maybe the employee ID is in column C or column D, VLOOKUP wouldn't work. If it's in another column and it's not in the first column, VLOOKUP wouldn't work. So with that being said, now, sorry. Now, the lookup value, which is this one, is what you're looking out for. The lookup value is what you're searching for. So this is what we're searching for, the employee ID that has 103. We'll put a comma. Now, the table array is the data set that you're looking for this information from. So what is the name of our data set? Remember, we'll change the column, the name to employee data. Remember, so we did employee data, which is the name of this full data set. Now we'll put a comma. So we've gotten our table array, comma. Now it's now saying column index number. Now what information are you looking for that relates with employee ID 103? What our boss asked us to look for was, give me the total sales made by this employee that has this ID of 103. And the total sales is in which column? Is in column 9, where we counted it, which is the column index number. So you write 9. You put a comma, which is the next one. Now the range lookup is saying you want to find approximate match or you want to find exact match. Approximate match means you are saying we should use true. Exact match is actually what we are looking for. Our boss didn't say we should go and look for the one that looks like. He said, I want to find the exact match. So now we are typing false. FAL. Just click on it. Instead of writing plenty, then cover the bracket. And we enter. Now, this is the information. This is the total sales made by employee 103. Let's go and check for this employee and see if this VLOOKUP actually gave us what it should give us. Where is employee 103 is in cell A11. Now let's go to total sales and look for cell A11. The total sales made by this employee 103 is 24,615. And let's come here. Voila. So now imagine this data set was almost 10,000. Going to go and look for employee 103 the way I just manually search will be impossible. So that is where VLOOKUPs come in. This is when you can, if you can use VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, you're already almost a boss in Excel. Like, not everyone knows how to use this. People would manually, that first one I taught you, they will not have to start filtering and then start looking for it one by one. With VLOOKUP, you already have your answer easily looking at you. Now, with that being said, now we have another one called XLOOKUP. We also have something else called index and match. Now, index and match actually helps sort answers with the first. Sorry. Index and match actually helps us sort answers. It's actually better than VLOOKUP or HLOOKUP. HLOOKUP actually searches horizontally. There's no need of doing HLOOKUP because there's actually a better one that Excel just brought up. VLOOKUP, like I told you, searches horizontally. VLOOKUP searches vertically. HLOOKUP searches horizontally. Now, when Excel noticed if your first column, if maybe what you're looking for is not from the first column with VLOOKUP, you will not be able to search your answer as well. For HLOOKUP, if it's not in the first row, you'll not be able to search your answer as well. So they now said, okay, let's look for the one that would actually search in between. There's no restriction. That was when they came up with XLOOKUP. Now, XLOOKUP is the modern replacement of VLOOKUP, index and match, or HLOOKUP. It is simpler, it is more flexible, and it is more powerful. It is used for exact match lookups. You can find answers left and right. You can return multiple results with XLOOKUP. You can even get cleaner formulas, and even if error that I taught us before is embedded inside XLOOKUP. Now let's work with XLOOKUP. Let's work with this data set here. This one here.
Oh, Julie?
Yes.
We're getting to the end of the class. I just looked at the times. So do you want to remind people about the next session coming up next week?
Okay. So yes, there's actually the next session coming up next week, and this is what you'll be learning. We'll be learning how to use Power Query. Now, yes, Power Query is like the advance of doing data cleaning and all of that, but for you to move forward in knowing how to use Excel, you have to learn Power Query. Power Query is like the automation in Excel. It is not as difficult as it sounds. Yes, I know when people hear automation, they'd be like, that's for the big bosses. No, it's not. I'm going to break it down for you, and you would absolutely enjoy the class. So yes, after the Power Query, we are going to be building a data visualization in this class in 1 hour. You would learn how to analyze data easily. You would learn how to build a good dashboard. You will learn how to use slicers. You will learn how to make your KPIs to show you the right information you need. In fact, I'm very sure if you can finish this class with me, at least you're going to be, if maybe you are in entry level before, you're going to be at least 60% ready to be good. Like you're going to be 60% ready in data analysis using Excel. So yes, we are not able to cover up XLOOKUP, but I want us to go check it out. It is the biggest one of VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, and index and match. check it out on YouTube. Check it out. If you have my personal number, you can ask me and I will guide you to. So yes, I'm hoping to see you all in class. And you can also follow Hailerz, Hailerz. They actually made this class possible. For you to be here, they made it possible. So yes, thank you so much for your time. And if you have any more questions, to reach out to me. The videos will be dropped for us later on if you missed the beginning of the class. So yes, that is it for now. So let you guys see at least who has been speaking. Hello. Okay, so this is me, and it's nice seeing you all. Isa, so you can go and check. Yes, you can check us out on YouTube as well. Do you have any more questions for